Hello everyone, welcome into my craft space. It's Shauna and today I'm trying a Facebook Live again and we'll probably upload to YouTube. It's a little later tonight, 9:48 Pacific Standard Time, so I'm not sure if anybody's going to jump on here, but I wanted to work on this little golden book and get some pages put in. It is Santa's Toy Shop, the one we started the other day, and it has dried now. I did put some eyelets in. I've got some pages ready to go, and we'll get to working on it. First, I thought I'd show you this one. This is the Shy Little Kitten, and I did a bigger spine on this one, but I was still able to preserve these little golden book spine pieces here. And then the pages on the inside, I put some trim just to support this part that I didn't want to bend anymore. Hey there, if you're popping on, say hello, let me know who you are and where you're watching from. So I've already got this one sewn in. You can see I've got some fabric down here and I love it. Hi, whoever is watching and just popped on, say hello so I can greet you. We've got some buttons on the spine. And this one was a little worse for wear. This title page had a bunch of coloring, so I did have to cover that up. But it is from 1946, so it is a vintage book. And then I Mod Podged some envelopes. I love to use Mod Podge. I'm not a plaid ambassador, but I would love to be. So I got some napkin on there. This is Mod Podged here. This is just a little index card. I haven't put any of the trims or anything in this one yet. I still have a pile of that to do. There's some coffee dyed notebook paper, some ledger paper, some tracing paper. Hi Loretta! This is from a about butterfly habitats book. And I just thought it was really cute. Here's some little mushroom paper. This is a little tuck spot. I did do some other Mod Podging. These are some cute little cat cards. So I did Mod Podge the back of this as well, and that will tuck right in there. And you can... Hi, is it Sixta? Is that how I say your name? Welcome here. Thanks for joining me. So that can stick right in there. And then this is really fun. This is an envelope that is just using an embossing folder. I put some little kitty paw prints, and then we've got a little metal charm glued on here. And when you turn it around, it hides this signature piece. We could glue it down to the inside of the envelope if we wanted to hide this string. I haven't decided yet. I might put something else on there. But it does hold a little kitty in there. You could put a little journal card or whatever you want in there. And then the rest of it is kind of like the other halves of everything we've talked about so far. I did put some of this. I like this. This is just a piece of paper and some eyelets with some of the fabric. This is how I did the other side of that card or envelope here. It's just a manila envelope. And it's again embossed using an embossing folder with the barn on there, and I just thought that was super cute. And then we've got a pocket here. I haven't filled all the pockets yet. This was fun. I had some leftover pieces of the napkin that I was decoupaging with my Mod Podge, so I just kind of crumpled it up like tissue paper and used it as trim. I'm probably going to put some more Mod Podge over that so it's not quite as kind of fragile feeling, but I really like the look of it. My friend Becca sent me these napkins and I thought they were just perfect with the color. So there's the inside and the two signatures, and then we start again, and a lot the same. There's a pocket there and a pocket here. More pages to tuck some things in, which I haven't done yet, but we'll get there. And then some butterfly book, index card. This one I just put a little piece of paper up here with the eyelet, and I can hang a charm there. That's kind of my plan for that one. This is another napkin that I decoupaged on using my Mod Podge. And I'll put something back here. I haven't quite decided yet. I've got some other pieces. There's some tracing paper. And the other side of that envelope that's been decoupaged. I just love how it looks too. The Mod Podge made it look really nice. And the other side of the index card, again with that piece of strip of paper and some eyelets with fabric. Butterfly book, some ledger paper, a little tuck spot, folder, and then there's some more of that crunkled up piece of napkin kind of looking like tissue paper. And that's the end. We could always put a pocket or something back here. I usually like to preserve this part of the book too, but it had a bunch of crayon and stuff on it, so it was a good first book to work with. I felt a little bad because it was vintage and I had to really scrub the pen and crayon off of here. I'll probably wind up putting some book corners on just to help preserve the corners because they're a little tattered. But I really like how it turned out, and I've got, like I said, a lot more pieces to go in it. I've got more trim. I Mod Podged some little flips and some other little butterflies, got some hearts, some rickrack. Oh, and these fun little kitty stick-ons that I thought were really cute. They're like little Post-it notes, and they're just little cats. So that will be really cute to put in there. And I've got some more fun ribbon. Extra pieces of notebook paper. This one was just a scrap, so I just made a little fold out, and I'll probably stick it in there with a paper clip that I decorate. So yeah, so that one is mostly done, but now we need to see how we get there. That's at the fun decorating stage. And so our Santa book here, if you remember from my other video, or if you don't, it's still available. Remember I said it was really weird that it was only one signature. Well, it wasn't. It had two signatures. It was just stuck with glue. And you can kind of see this one says 1. And then this one, if you looked really close before the adhesive, it said 2. So it was 2 signatures. And in taking them apart, this one kind of ripped just a little bit. So we're going to do a fix for that because I don't want to sew in a signature that looks like this. That won't be very sturdy for this page. That's our cover page, so it probably would come out. So what we're going to do, I made this little pocket. It's mostly just the bottom piece that's ripped. So if you have a 6x6 pad of paper like this one's just from American Crafts. I pulled it out with the banding strip. This piece still attached to the paper, so it looked like this. And then I just folded it up to the little tattered line there where you would normally tear it off, and I'm going to keep that on. And I've inked it up, and I used my circle punch and did a half punch. So what we're going to do now is glue it with this. We're going to match up this little line, and we're going to glue it right here to help make that piece that's ripped more sturdy, and then it'll give us a little pocket like this. So let's get gluing, and then we'll work on all the other stuff that we can put into our book. I've gathered up a bunch of things. I don't always wind up using everything, and it's okay because I'm going to be making other books, so it won't go to waste. And I just like to have a variety of things, and then that way I can reach and grab and just see what fits. Okay, so we'll glue that, and we'll glue this in place. Try to get it straight. And we want to make sure it's still on that crease because we want this to flap and we want this to fold. Oops. This in there, make sure it's all lined up again. There we go. Okay, so that's going to be drying and a little bit in our way while it's doing that. So when I work on these little golden books and try to keep everything in order, I don't take these apart. This is the story in order. And if you take them apart, some people take them apart and make hinges, so then they can put the pages whatever order that they would like. Hey, Jimmy Lou, I saw you. and that's fine too. I just leave it like it is. And then let's talk about the pages and papers and extra things we can put in there. I've pulled out a bunch of embellishments. We're not quite there yet, but we will be. Let's see. I was trying to figure out a fix for that broken page, so my stack kind of got a little messy here. Let's talk about it. All right. So this is my heaping pile of stuff. Envelopes are always a fun thing to put in, and sometimes I will dry emboss on them. And then what's cool about the dry embossing is we'll just go ahead and do it on this one because that's probably what I'll wind up doing anyways. If you just run an ink pad, this is just chalk ink, Versa Magic chalk ink. You just run an ink pad over where you've embossed and it brings that design right out. You could also use some embossing ink and powder if you wanted to bring it out even more, but I really like it like that. Kind of brings out our little snowflake. Okay. So we've got envelopes. I've got quite a few envelopes here. I wanted that one to go in there. And I've got some tags and folders for once we're ready to emboss. Sometimes greeting cards can be really fun at the front of a book. This one, when I was going through looking for things, you can use the pages. What did I do with the pages here? To measure and make sure that you're going to be about the size that you want. So this could go in on the first page. It's supposed to be to put a photo in. So, you know, if you were giving it as like a holiday gift or something, you could put your family's photo in here at the beginning. This one, you could, I guess, sew it into the signature and then use this as another page and put something back here so it would make 2 pages. Or you can just glue it onto one of your white pages and let it be a flip up. So those are fun. Don't forget about greeting cards. Even if they're just to reuse greeting cards that you've received, you can put them in there. I have some papers that have a scalloped edge, some ledger paper, a bunch of different scrapbook papers, and I've already cut these down to size and folded them just for the sake of time. This is some tracing paper that's fun to put in there at a different size. These ones are for a different book. I was just cutting them all at the same time, kind of was on a roll. This is like little kids' writing paper, which is really fun. I like putting that in these kids' books. And then here's some of the index cards. I got the jumbo ones and I coffee dyed them, and then you can fold them in half and put them into your signature, or you can just decorate them and use them as tags or whatever you like to do. In some of these little books, I kind of like them sewed in, and then you can decorate them. I showed that one in my kitty book, and that one was really, really kind of fun. And then these little memo pads are kind of fun papers to put in there. You could put it, you know, this way. You could even use this as just one of the little fold-ins to put in your pockets, or to decorate a white page. The scrapbook paper will give you a white page. This one as well. Found this one in a free box, probably because it has this coloring, but you could just tear this off and use it as a border. Same here. You could use the lines to decorate as well. So now what we need to start doing is layering our papers and getting everything that we want in there, actually in order. So this is the second signature. This is our first signature. I'm letting the first one dry just a little bit. Let's see, I wanted one of these. I'm probably gonna do 2 signatures, since there are 2 signatures of the story. So I like to grab things to make them somewhat similar. These envelopes are really fun. You can put them in like this. So this piece sews into your signature, or you can glue this closed right here, take a tiny little slice off the top, and then fold it in half, and it leaves room for tags. So nice tags or little journaling cards, which is really fun too. So I sometimes do them both ways, just depends on what I think I might be going for. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Another thing you need to decide too is what you want the covers of your signatures to look like. A lot of times I use scrapbook paper and I like them to match. I think it just really looks nice for the continuity when you're going through. So I want to make sure if that's what I'm doing that I have 2 of them. Oh, and I found these cute little elves. Where did they go? Right here, which I thought was really fun because we're at Santa's toy shop. So I think maybe those are the ones I'm going to use for the covers. So it's got these cute little elves. See, and this one has the cute little elf girl. So just something a little extra and fun. And on some of my tags, I'll probably put some little elf shoe brads. So then you just start layering like this. So every page will come up and attached to another page. So you just want to wrap around like this. So that's going to be the cover. And we can always put some kind of a fun trim or something here. Since I left these a little short, I did that intentionally. Let's see, I want it to be, you want to try to get them to line up where you want them to go before you start sewing or doing any of that stuff. By sewing, I don't mean sewing with a sewing machine. You can if you want to, especially with this format, because it would be easy to just sew one strip down and call it good. But anyway, so this is the next one, and this lifts up, and then we're going to put a paper in there. So let's do an envelope. We'll put one like this. Put an envelope there. Sometimes I like to put things that kind of coordinate with the page. And actually, this blue one that I said was for a different book might be kind of fun in here. Let's see, we could put, instead of this envelope, we could put this blue one in. And now this blue paper is going to go to the other side though, so we'll have to see if we like it there. If we don't, we could always cover it with something else. I don't know that I really like this here, but we could always cover it up with something else. So no worries on that, but I do like it here. And I had that blue envelope we could put there that has the snowflake. What did I do with it? It went somewhere. Wow, how did it run away so far, so fast? There it is. Okay. So we could put this here. And actually that's kind of perfect because then it leaves us a little something here to glue on over there. Okay, so kind of like that. I think that's fun. And then we'll go to the next page in the book. Let's see, what do we have? Where did my stack of papers go? Here they are. Nope, those are the short ones that I did. There we go. Here we are. Okay, and so since it looks like Santa is climbing down the chimney and there's a tree, I have these ones that have presents that are so cute. I think that might look good. You can also turn them like this. You can turn this white part in. We could fold this up to make a pocket. You can do a lot of different things. Let's see what's on this side. Oh, that's gonna work perfectly actually. So I'm gonna leave it this way. And I think we'll put this in here like this. And then maybe we'll put a piece of this ledger paper. Like this. And then, what's going on with this page? This is the center of our signature, so we just need something right in there. And I think this might be a good match. I also have a doily somewhere. we still have this one to do as well. Now, like I said, you don't have to use them all. Let's see, do we want this down, this up? What do we want? Maybe like that. So put this in here like this, and then we can decorate this somehow. Okay. And so this is just one signature. This is the second signature of the book. What do I have going on back here? There we go. Okay, this is all just extra stuff. And so then you want to make sure everything is the way that you want it. And what I mean by that is like that it's the right spacing, that you didn't forget anything you wanted to put in there. That it's like right way up. Unless if you don't want it right way up, you can put it however you would like. Just make sure it's the way you intended for it to go. I had some cute little doilies around here somewhere. There they are. Okay, and I think I wanted to put one of these on the inside of the signature somewhere. And I want to put this in there somewhere too. Sometimes it's easier, if you like to ink, it's easier to ink this stuff before you sew it in. Yes, it's hiding. It's always hiding. I think just crafters in general can't find stuff that's right in front of them. And then I'm also visually impaired, so stuff really does hide. Sometimes if it falls on the ground, my puppy sneaks off with it. Good times. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of ink. You can still ink once it's glued into your book, but it's not quite as easy to get all of the spots. So, at least if you ink like this. If you use an inking tool, you can still kind of rub it across all the pages. No worries. So, and then some people like to work on their pages before they sew them in to the book, to the spine. Some people like to work on them once they're in the book. I don't feel like there is a right or wrong way. You just need to do whatever way works best for you. This ink is super old. It was from my scrapbooking store when I had it. It's Versa Magic ink. They're called Dewdrops. You can still get them. I think scrapbook.com has them. I think Amazon has them. A lot of people use Tim Holtz Distress ink. I usually do too. These ones are just, I really like the look of chalk ink, and they're handy here, so that's why I'm using those. Let's see, I thought I just inked this, but it doesn't look very inked. There we go, that's a little better. Okay. Put some more over here because that's what's gonna be hard to reach. This one I actually need to replace because it's falling apart. Okay, so let's see, where can we put this green card in here? I love this. I kind of like to just go as the story goes. Let's see, this one, we can put this one right here. So that means it's going to be over here on this side. Does that still work? It does. And you can move these up or down, however you like them to be. I think this one I'm going to put like right about there. And again, these are the spots where I'm going to put my lace and my trim and my little bits of decoration, maybe some brads or eyelets or fun stuff. So for me, those are pretty important pages. I think this one I'm going to let go here because this is an all-white page. So we'll turn this one this way. I like to fold it first to make sure the crease is going to go into where I'm planning to sew in that signature. So that is the whole second signature. Now we get to do it again for the first signature. So this one, we'll just set some little clips on so nothing falls out, nothing gets lost on my desk. this one is the first signature, and we have this little pocket. I'll make sure it's still working and not gluing the wrong way. There we go. I probably will wind up putting a little strip of ribbon or something in there, just because I want it to be sturdy. You could put washi tape or whatever too. Okay, so I wanted to start with the little elf paper. And so both signatures will match. So when you're flipping through, you'll be able to tell where the first and second signatures are when they go like this. Yeah, you're welcome, Sixta. Where are you from? Where are you tuning in from? All right, let's keep going and see what we can do with this one. We don't want these pages to glue to those ones. Okay, so this one is talking about snow, but I don't know that I really want to do another snow page, but maybe, what do I have going here? Maybe we'll do this one. I think, oh, or wait, what's that one? This is kind of pretty. Oh, and this one, you're from Texas. Oh, very cool. Okay, so this one was a 12 by 12 piece of paper, a scrapbook paper, and I just folded it in half, and I thought it would be kind of fun to put in just like this, because then you can make this fold, you can make it pockets. I'm in Washington State. So this one I think is going to go here, and we'll try that one out. And then maybe also a piece of tracing paper, if I can find it, what I did with it. Aha, there it is. All right. And the tracing paper just kind of gives it an extra fun texture, crinkle, something different. You don't have to have it, but I think it's kind of fun. You can put it in any order that you want. I like to kind of try to make it coordinate with the story a little bit if I can. I think it will give the person who's receiving it something a little extra. So they're talking about dolls in this one, and Mrs. Santa Claus. It's going to be on this one. I think I'm going to use, ooh, we could do this one, or we could do this one. I think I kind of like this one. Okay, so we'll put this one in here. And actually, maybe I'm gonna put this one too, because I really liked it too. So we'll turn this one this way, and it's smaller, so if we wanted to, we could cut it down and make like a flip or something. Okay, so there's that one. This will be the center of the signature already. Comes super quick. This one says in the train department, so I don't really have any train Christmas papers, but maybe just this fun, colorful one here. And we'll put some lined paper in here. And don't remember if I did the little index card. So here's one. Oh, I did, because I inked it wherever it went. Okay, it's easy to lose track. That's why it's a good idea to just go back through one more time. So Sixta, since you're new to my page, make sure that you hit that like or follow button. You'll be able to see when I am here live. I also have a YouTube channel, the same name as this page, Frapps and Scraps. There's no E's in it, it's just Frapps and Scraps. And I do a lot of fun paper crafting, a lot of junk journals, decorations and ephemera like embellishments. I sometimes show my kitty. My puppy's sleeping today. She had surgery yesterday. She got spayed, so she's sleeping. Yes, thank you so much for being here. I love meeting new friends and hoping to inspire new paper crafters or paper crafters that have already been crafting and just want some new ideas. Okay, I think this one is good. I still don't think I saw that index card. What did I do with it? I remember inking it. It like disappeared somewhere. Maybe I put it in the other one. Well, let's do another one. Why not? Yeah, she's okay. She just got spayed, and she's a little dog. She's a rat terrier corgi mix. So she had to stay at the vet last night because the meds took a little while to wear off. Did I put on the other signature? Thanks, Loretta. I didn't remember where it went. They kind of start to blur in my mind a little bit. So like I said, I just get out a bunch of things and have them in front of me ready to go. And it's always a good idea to do another flip through of your signatures, make sure you got them the way that you want them. Now, a lot of times on these index cards, what's really fun to do is I'll put a little trim and or a little cluster in the corner or whatever, stamp on it, and then leave it for writing. I like to try to remember to leave room for writing if people actually want to write. And if they don't want to write, they can put a picture there, they can put a quote or a poem. I have some vintage Christmas postcards I'm going to be putting in some of these pockets, so that will be fun. Let's see, I ink this all up and we'll put it in there, and we'll have one in each signature. So that will be fun. Oops, there's my buttons, ready to be sewn. Okay, so let's figure out where we want this to go. Kind of have a few things there already. Maybe we'll put it right here since this is a little bit on the plain side. Okay. And I don't think I did a doily in this one. Let's see, one more flip through just to be sure. Got what I want. With this style of book, once you sew it in, you can add some things, but you have to glue it to another page. So you can't really sew in anything extra after you've got them sewed in. So it's a good idea to make sure you have everything that you want before you sew it in. These doilies were fun, just some ones that I got from the Dollar Tree last year at Christmas time. I think I'm gonna put it right here. Put it like this. Now, if we put it in this way, we could actually glue it to this white page and make it like a little tuck or a pocket right there. Maybe I'll put it in that way in case if that's what I decide to do. I generally put my pages into the book and then start decorating them. I don't sew with a sewing machine, so really there's no hindrance in doing that. It does make it a little more difficult to ink everything, but for the most part, it works out just fine. Okay, so now that we have that, we can set our glue aside and our ink aside, and we picked out buttons to sew onto the spine the other day. Now what is good to do is find the center, which I think is here on this one. Make sure everything is, lined up straight, and then put some clips on. You can use paper clips or binder clips, or you don't have to clip it if you think you are able to keep everything in order without moving while you're working on it. That is fine too. So that's our second signature. We don't want to lose that, but we do need some space here. So this is the little template that I made the other day on the other video, and just want to make sure the holes line up here You can hold it up to the light, make sure you can see through. Yes, they do. Let's see this one, because this is the one I've got folded. Perfect. Okay. So now, since I folded this down, I did not write top on this one, but I'm going to, so I don't get confused next time. And find the center here, and you can put this in. And I'm going to go ahead and just clip it in there so it doesn't move around. Make sure that's nice and in the fold. Okay. Then you can use an awl, you can use a pokey tool, you can use a crocodile to punch your holes. I'll use an awl this time so you guys can see what that is and how it works. Sometimes they look a little different. The handles are a little different, but they are basically just a huge spiky tool on a little screwdriver handle. This one is for jewelry making. I don't know. It says it's a bead reamer. I don't know what you would do with beads with this, but it works great for my bookmaking. So you can dot with a pen instead of using the template. I just keep it there because it doesn't hurt anything. You want to make sure you have some kind of a durable mat, or sometimes people use a phone book or something, some kind of a book or something to stab into, because it could poke holes. Mine usually doesn't touch the surface the way that I do it. Let's see if we can zoom in just a little bit. You guys can see a little better. Again, it's super sharp, so just be careful and hold everything. I like to hold, I'm holding it down here really nice and tight. You can see my hands are here and my fingers are away from where it's going to poke. So, and I just put it in the little hole of the template and just kind of start twisting. I don't really use a ton of force because you can see it's already pierced through. But I do want to keep going just a little bit so that when I bring the needle and that crochet thread that I plan to use, that I have plenty of room to go through here with the needle. Okay, and then we'll back this guy out. Again, twisting motion because I don't want to tear anything, especially that delicate doily or the envelopes that I have. This one, as it gets a little closer to my hand, I'm just being more aware of where it's going to come out so I don't stab myself. I mean, I suppose you could do it this way until it goes through, but it's not the way I'm used to doing it, so just do whatever feels best and safest for yourself. Bookmaking is no fun if you're bleeding. So, okay, so we'll put this through and then again twist it back out. And one last one. And you could turn this around so that you're holding it down here, but I'm just gonna go for it. Keeping my fingers out of the way. And twisting delicately here as it goes through. Perfect. I don't have a lot of great strength in my hands anymore, and I can still manage to do this. It's like I said, you're not like twisting terribly. If you are somebody who can't do that twisting motion, you can also, like I said, use a crocodile. You can use a pokey tool, which you would hold differently and maybe poke this way. However you find works best for you to get these holes in there, that's the goal. Okay, so I'm going to set this one in here and move on to this one. You can see I just slipped the template out, but I left the clips on because I want everything to stay in that way that I have it there. Oops, this one I didn't clip right. I just clipped it so we didn't lose anything. There we go. And you can see this one, you'll be able to see how the smaller one goes into our signature. So this is the top. We want to make sure that's really the top. It is. So we line the top up with the top, and we're going to clip this. And you can see it doesn't really hold that doily, so that's why it's really important that you try to hold everything where you're going. and you have arthritis. Yeah. Sometimes certain motions are harder for people. Like I said, they do make these tools called a Big Bite, and I have this one here. And all you have to do is squeeze this one, and it pokes holes and sets your eyelets. So it would punch the hole down here, and you would just slip it in there, punch, 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 and be done. So that is another option. I've seen people use little tiny hand drills, and you just kind of and it's done. That is another way. Like I said, this pokey tool, you can use that too. Here, I'll show you. You'll want to make sure you have your mat, and you hold this one differently, so you're not holding like this. You're holding like this and twisting this way. So whichever way is best for your hands, your comfort, your safety, whatever. Just do what works best for you. So this one, you can see it's kind of poking through. Where to go? There it is. And to get the hole the right size, you just kind of want to turn it and press and just keep kind of wiggling it. You can see it's coming through there. So kind of the same thing, just a different hand motion, whichever way works best for you. Yeah, you can see it did the same thing. If this part is a challenge for you, getting those holes, maybe you have a friend or a spouse or a child or somebody that can just simply poke these holes for you if you have them ready to. That's always another option. Or there are other ways to bind books. You don't have to poke these holes and sew them all in. Sometimes you can do floating spines. My friend TC from Gigi's Craft Room does some really great floating spines. She said she learned from Jimmy Lou of the Messy Craft Corner. So check out those two ladies. They do a lot of different spines and binding. This is one of my favorite ways, especially for these little golden books, because I can put the buttons in. Yeah, you're welcome. I have learned, the last year has taught me that if I want to keep crafting, I just have to learn to work around the things that life has thrown me. I lost a good portion of my eyesight the last year, so if I wanted to keep crafting, which I do, I just had to figure out a way to do that. And some things I'm not very good at anymore. I have a really hard time seeing contrast, so that makes it really difficult to do like COPIC coloring and stuff. I was a COPIC instructor, so that's been a little frustrating. I can still color, I just am not usually as happy with the results. Okay, so we have both of our signatures with holes. We have our spine all ready to go. And this is how it's going to go in here. And once oh, you know what? I thought it was just one signature. What I'm going to do now, because I set everything up for one. Well, maybe I can punch another hole right next to this one. We'll have to share. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm just going to punch another hole. So you'll get to see me use this Big Bite. I did that kind of in the center, so that kind of messes things up a little bit, but we'll make it work. So now this, you can measure if you want to. I don't know if I'm gonna like that. Let's see, what else can we do? I think I can sew these together and then stitch them in as one. Well, we'll do an experiment. We'll see if it works. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been paper crafting for about 25 years. A variety of different things. I owned a scrapbook store for a while, and I miss it every single day. I had a lot of fun. Where is the end of this thread? I don't know what they've got going on here. I know if I cut this, then I'll find the end. That's not the end. I don't see an end there. I'm just gonna cut it and see how far we can get. Okay. I use a really big upholstery needle to sew in the signatures. It has a really big eye on it, which helps me to see it and thread it. I still struggle just a little bit at times, but I can usually make it work. Okay, so like I said, this one's going to be a little bit of an experiment. I thought this was, the book was just one signature, and it actually turned out to be two. And so then when I created the spine, I had already created it just for one. So we're going to see if we can sew this in. So I want the string out here. I want it to end up out here. So I'm going to start at the outside. See what happens. So that, oh, yeah, that didn't help. That came right off. So now where's my end? There it is. Okay, I think we're good now. Some people will measure 3 lengths of this and then cut it. I just leave it on the spool. Sometimes it creates a little chaos, but oh, look at that. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna see how this works. In crafting, sometimes you just have to troubleshoot as you go along. So when you want your strings to wind up on the outside of a signature, you start on the outside. If you want the strings to wind up on the inside, you start on the inside. And sometimes, if it's not going through, you do each individual one. Peek. Come on, be good. There we go. Okay. So we're going to start in the center. And then you can choose. You can either go to the top or the bottom. Doesn't matter which one, because you're going to do them all. I should just set this on the floor so it can roll as I go. I have to remember it's down there so my cats don't steal it. Okay, so I am going to go, this is the top. We're going to go to the top next. Not because it matters, but that's just because that's what I usually do. Eek, come on. There we go. And if this is hard to pull these through, you can use a little pair of like needle nose pliers or something and pull them through. I just keep wiggling it and usually it complies. If you use the Big Bite, the hole puncher, it makes these holes a little bigger, and so it is easier to pull through. I'm going to pull some thread because I'm not sure what I'm going to have to do yet. Okay, so we did the middle first, then we did the top. Now we're going to do the bottom. So you're going to skip that center and do the bottom. Let's figure out where the holes are. So this is just called a pamphlet stitch. Some people, I think, do it with 5 holes. I always do it with 3. That was just how I learned. But there's a lot of YouTube videos on how to do the pamphlet stitch. So the difference between them being on the inside or the outside, it's not that one is better. It just depends on the look that you want. So some people like their strings to end up in here, and it kind of makes like a little bookmark. You can put charms and whatever on the ends. Now we're going to go back through this middle hole. When I started on the outside, the strings are going to wind up on the outside. So that just means that I can hopefully tie into this other signature, and our threads are on the outside. So I guess I didn't think about how I plan to sew this into the book. Let's see. I guess we could use like the same hole for both signatures. So see, my strings are out here. I've already tied this in, but I think I'm gonna go through and do it one more time because, actually, maybe I'll just pull it out because I forgot to sew it into the book. I think I'm just gonna try and use the same holes for both signatures. Maybe it will work. Sometimes it's just trial and error. And a lot of string. Yikes. Okay, so we're gonna pull this all the way through. I was gonna do something I had seen on a YouTube video, but I think I'm not gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna try and get both of them to go through the same holes. They're big holes, so it should work in theory. We will see. All right, so since I'm doing that, I'm gonna start on the inside, go back through, and then we'll go on the inside here. Now I may have to change this needle. I kind of forgot I was doing buttons as well. And a lot of times this is too big to go through the buttons. So in that case, I have to do, these are tapestry needles. Again, I try to get as big of an eye as I can because I have a hard time seeing. So if your eyes are tired as well, it's another good idea. Okay, so the smaller needle will be easier to get through the holes in the pages as well. So hopefully I can get it threaded. You're the only one awake. Yeah, it is pretty late. It's okay though, because people can watch the replay, and then I also will make it into a YouTube video so people can still enjoy the process and learn what I do. Okay, so I've got these buttons that we picked out the other day. I'm going to simply, I put my stitch through the page and through this hole here, the middle one. And then we're gonna put on our button, just zipping through the holes. And we'll try to put it as flush there as we can. And this, now I've never put two signatures in the same spine holes before, so hopefully it will work. This little golden book has given me a struggle since I started it, so it's no surprise that it's gonna be a struggle for the binding too, so that's okay. All right, so now we're gonna go through the top hole. Again, no reason, just because I usually do top and then finish off. So we'll go through here. No, we want to put some more buttons on first. So, good thing I didn't do that, or we'd have to start over again. Good grief. All right, get it together, girl. Let's see. So these ones I wanted at the bottom, and then I want it to go red, green, blue, red, green, blue. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, and when it has 4 holes in your button, you just pick 2 and sew through. And don't tie up the thread since I have so much cut off here. So I usually do the diagonal 2. I have so much thread out because I had pulled it apart, so it's given us a little extra. And then we'll do this green one. Whoops. Green one. Again, diagonal and the holes there. Pull this thread all the way through without tangling it up. And you can spin these and space them out and everything once it gets a little tighter. I try to just keep them as straight as I can while I'm working. This button just has 2 holes, so that'll be perfect. Pull through here, and then through the last hole, and then we're gonna go back in here. So to the top, into our papers, and watch that these buttons try to stay straight and we don't lose our needle since I have so much thread out. Not ideal to have this much thread out. It gets a little tangly, it gets loose. I could pull some of it this way, but put it back on the spool. Okay, so that's nice and straight. That's cute. Now we're gonna go down to the bottom one. This is gonna tie on the inside here. So make sure that's nice and straight. Ooh, my needle poked through somewhere. There we go. I can poke it through the eyelet there. And then we'll do some more buttons. And the ones you put on now are gonna be at the bottom. So make sure you're aware of that. I like to do the little shaped one at the bottom. Yeah, don't worry. I just always keep working through whatever problems I come across, and sometimes teaches me some new things. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But I think that's kind of the way of crafting, and sometimes you can come up with some cool ways to do stuff. So we'll see. There's my star. I don't know if you guys can see that very good. I'll show you in just one second. I don't want to move everything too much. Here's a blue one. This one has the 4 holes, so we're gonna go diagonally here. Put this one through. Some of these parts are a little tedious, but it definitely is worth it in the end. It looks really cute. These ones all have 4 holes somehow. That's okay. Again, just choose 2 on a diagonal. In one, out the other, and kind of pull it a little bit tight and straight. And we'll put one more right there. I'm not a very good sewer, like on a sewing machine, so don't worry if you're not either. You can still do these books. I almost always sew my signatures, unless if I'm doing like a taped book or something, like a book held together with tape. That's the only other style of binding I usually work with. Or I guess maybe that's not totally true. I do sometimes do some ring binding. Okay, so let's get this through our paper so I can pull it a little tight. Nope, it went somewhere. Where did it go? All right, through the eyelet. Nope, one more time. Through the eyelet, through the holes of the paper, back into the center, and then we can fix our buttons here. These ones are kind of tight, and these ones aren't tight enough. So when that happens, you just need to pull kind of gently. On them so that they do what you want them to do. That looks good. Okay, and doing a normal pamphlet stitch, you want to, we're gonna go ahead and cut this, and we're gonna leave some little links here. I'm probably gonna put some little jingle bells at the end once I'm to the decorating part. You have your center string here. I'm gonna turn this back this way so it makes sense. And then you have 2 strings here, and you want them both to go underneath this string, and you want one on either side so you can tie it. So it looks like this. And then you just tie a couple of square knots, or just knot however you knot. I don't know if I do right over left, left over right. I just tie it. And I usually tie it like 3 times. You don't want to pull so tight that you rip the strings out though. I've done that before. Not good. Okay. Then, like I said, I'm going to let these hang there because I am going to put some little bells on them if this book works out. And so there is one signature. Now normally we would have more holes right here and we would sew into that. I'm going to see if I can tap into those because I thought I was working with one signature. And I'm not. So we did a last minute change of plans and we're just going with it. Yes, the buttons are so fun and so cute, and they add to the theme. I really like choosing out a little shaped one and picking out the colors. It really adds some decoration to the spine without too much expense or extra struggle. Okay, so here's our second signature. I'm going to start on the inside again, center hole, and I'm going to go through the center hole that we've already used. We can go through the button again. I think that will just help it stay secure. There's plenty of room. And if you can't get it to go through the button, no worries, because it's already sewn in there. So, okay. So we don't want to pull out too much thread again. I'm gonna go, let's see, I'm gonna go back through this button. I'm kind of making this up as I go along, if you can't tell. So I'm gonna go back through this button, but not back through the book. I want this string to be behind the buttons so it's not seen. Normally you can see the strings of the signatures, and it's kind of cool because it lets you see how many is in there. This one's gonna have a little secret because it's gonna have two signatures, but it's only gonna look like one string. So now I'm going underneath this button back here. We could just go right through it, but I don't want to. I'm gonna go underneath that. I don't want the string to show. So we're gonna go underneath it, and we need to go underneath this signature that we've already sewn, and we need to find the one that we're trying to sew in right there. So all the way through all of those pages. So we went through the center, through one button, behind the other buttons, and now we're going through the top, and that string should just lie down there behind those buttons. Straighten our buttons back out, like so. There we go. Flip this back over. So we've got our center string, our top one. Now we're going to go to the bottom, through all of the pages, through that bottom eyelet hole that we've already used. I'm not going to go through that I'm not going to go through the star because it's a little difficult to move around. So I'm just going to go underneath these buttons. We'll go around this star button. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Around the star, around here, and we're going to go underneath here. I guess we'll go through one of the empties here that we haven't used in this button, maybe. And back down through that center eyelet hole. And we want to flip this over and make sure we're going to the right signature. That one should already be tied in. This is the challenging part, trying to be able to see where the needle is going. Aha, it's going the right way. Good job, needle. All right, back through here, yes. Okay, our buttons are straight. That one is weird because I went through one. I don't know if I like that, but maybe I'll glue one on top of it so you can't see it. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? Okay. And then we want one string on either side of this bottom string. And we want it to pull snugly. Can take these needles out now. Put them back before I lose them. I think this is gonna work. The only thing I think it's gonna do is it's gonna not give a lot of room for bulky decoration. So if that's something that you're after, this is not the way to bind it. Okay, so again, we have our center string, we pulled it tight. We need to double check our spine to make sure everything is straight where we want it, and it is, so that is great. And then one string on either side underneath this center string, pull it tight again, tie some knots. I love this thread. This is just crochet thread that was variegated red, white, and green, and it's working out good. Yes, I made it work. I think that's sometimes what crafting winds up being, is just making it work however it works out. Now this is not the way I did my other one. My other one, you can see it has two signatures. And let's zoom out just a little bit, maybe. Okay, here, we'll do it this way. You can see it has two signatures. I did extra buttons. It was planned two signatures. They are almost always two signatures. But when I pulled this one apart, it looked like just one because they used like adhesive or something. It was really interesting and kind of difficult. But that's what keeps it interesting, I guess. And we found a new way to do this pamphlet stitch, or at least new to me. So there is our, it still looks like two signatures, but our spine only looks like one. And that extra thread kind of hid in there. Let's zoom back in. So I have this thread hanging out weird on this red button, but you can't really tell now that this green button is in front of it. So that kind of worked out well in my favor. The star, yeah, learned something new. Just made it work. And then when we flip through, we still have this piece of the little golden book intact here. I'll zoom you guys out just a little bit. And we have our cute little elves, our fabric back here in our rickrack, and it matches really well with this. Here's our little pocket from that torn page. Here's our title page. And our title page has the copyright all still intact. And then this page is going to be either our flip down or our pocket. There's our tracing paper. And here is our storybook page. And the pages are all still in order, so you can still read the story. These are index cards. Actually, this actually lays pretty good. This is flat. I haven't put any of the ephemera in it yet, but I think it's going to work out just fine. So we made it work. And it's doing well. So this one, like I said, we can glue a piece of this down and just make this a tuck or an envelope. Or we can just leave it there like that. There's some writing page. I've got these little tiny bells I'm gonna put on these strings in the center here. Our other piece of doily, again, we could do the same thing here. Either glue it, make a pocket, or just leave it. More of the story, some paper. I think, yeah, that's the other side of our index card. More story. Other side of tracing paper, other side of that little, what's going to be a pocket. There's the other side of our fix, so I'll probably put something here. I don't normally try to decorate much on these pages, but because it was torn, I kind of had no choice, so I'll probably put another strip of paper or something here to kind of layer. And we'll cover that little hole. That was from our banding strip of the paper. So here is, I really love how this looks. This is our second signature and they match. Usually I don't decorate anything on the jackets of the signatures. I just let them speak for themselves and be decoration. It looks like it's flipping through just nice, even the way that we have it sewn in. There's our pretty envelope. Scrapbook paper, more of the story. Scrapbook paper, some ledger paper. I didn't put any ledger paper in the other one, but that's okay. There is our index card that we inked the first time. Good call, Loretta, you were watching. More of the story, some of this fun scalloped paper. Now with these, you can punch holes and put eyelets, and you could hang little charms. You can ink these, they look really pretty inked. You can put something decorative here like a pocket or some kind of a flip out or something. So decorating that will be fun. This is the center of our signature. I really love the look of that doily. And then we go back through the other sides of everything. There's our index card, our ledger paper, scrapbook paper, more of the story. And then when we get here, these envelopes are really cool because you peel them to stick them. So this is the flap of our envelope, and we can make this anything that we want. We can, we could decorate this strip as it is and just leave it a little short page. We could put this memo paper on here like this, and then put a different paper over here. We could make it a pocket. We could put some trims. So many possibilities for those extra strips. I really like that it's a covered adhesive so it doesn't stick to everything else, and you don't have to worry about that adhesive strip. Here is the end of our story and our jacket, and then we still have some fabric, our rickrack, and this is all still intact, part of the little golden book along with the back. So this one, I don't know if I'm going to put any little corners because it's actually in pretty good condition, but you can see we do have 2 signatures, and our spine is really cute even though it looks like it's just 1 signature, so it's kind of the journal with a surprise. Maybe that's what I'll call it. Journal with a surprise signature. And yeah, so in the next time I come on live, or even over on my YouTube channel, we will be decorating, and I have some really cool stuff to decorate with. I found these stickers. I did a bunch of die cutting. There we go. And I'm so excited because it's Santa's toy shop. So I made these little folders, and I found this stickers that says North Pole Express Special Delivery Post Office. So I was thinking about putting it on here and then making it look like he's got a naughty and nice list going on inside these little folders, maybe on one of the pages or in the pockets. I've got a bunch of tags in the paper that we already cut out. Some fun little Christmas stickers. So it's going to be fun decorating this one. I also have, of course, some cute trims and some glittery paper we can make some belly bands out of, or even decorate our tags and embellishments with. So the next step is all of our ephemera and trim. That is the fun part in my opinion. So we got everything in there. Again, like I said, some people don't stitch these in until after they have everything decorated, and that is totally up to you. If you are a sewer and you like to sew your trims on, sometimes it is easier to keep these out while you're working on the pages and then sew everything in at the end. I don't like to do it that way because to me, it kind of gets in the way, and I like to coordinate my embellishments with each page if I can. So I can still stamp in here, I can still ink in here. It is a little bit of a challenge to get ink in this crevices if that's where you want it, but it can be done, and I think it's a good way for me to work. So however is easiest for you, do that. And I mean, you want bookmaking to be fun and enjoyable, and you know, there's parts of it that we like better than others, of course, like with any hobby, but try and make it as fun as you can, and yeah, hopefully things turn out the way you want them to and you get a good project. All right, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me on this late night live. I'm probably going to post it to my YouTube channel, so if you haven't checked that out, I'm super close to 1,000 subscribers over there. It's Frapps and Scraps. I'll put a link in the comments down below. Again, if you are not following me on Facebook, hit that like and follow so that you'll get my next videos when they come up live, and my posts. Sometimes I post photos of my projects, telling you to check out the video on YouTube and vice versa. So yeah, thanks you guys so much for sticking with me and troubleshooting and learning this new way to do the spine, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good night.